You, with the white t-shirt, are you a white man? What? Are you?
I'm generally considered that.
Well, are you a white man? When it says brace, what do you put?
Sure, that's my...
Get up here. Hurry, come on, you can move that.
I know.
You can get right here.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Well, hold that thought. What's the first difference you see here?
A man and a woman.
A man and a woman. You see gender. Anything else? Height.
Age.
Practically every time I do that. And with those department heads, they said height. And I immediately thought, you stupid. You just flunked the test.
See here.
That is not the first distance difference you see here.
Right.
You know what it is, and I know what it is, but you hesitate to say
Color.
Usually people say race. What race are you a member of?
I was going with gender.
Yeah, that's why you stand like this. You gotta protect your important part. I understand that. You were going with gender.
I had a survey. I will sometimes put in, write in, I'm a member of the human.
When I have to fill in a form, I put, where it says race, I put human. And where it says sex, I put yeah. We can change this, if we decide to, people, we can change this. That man that day said, I said, but of course they said height first, and I thought, I hate all of you. So I said to this man, I'll say to you, is your height important to you?
No.
Would you rather be your height or mine? Now think about that. How many of you think it's irrelevant? How many of you think he's lying in his teeth? How many of you think he wouldn't want to be as short as I am? You know that, and I know that. Did you earn your height?
I did not.
No. Is it a physical characteristic over which you have no control?
Yeah, absolutely.
It is. It is. Does it give you power?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, he knows that, doesn't he? At first he says it doesn't matter, and then he says it gives you power. Is your height important to you? Would you rather be your height or mine?
It would matter.
How many do you think it would matter?
I mean, I got on heels right now.
That's She has on heels like this. How many of you think her height matters to her?
Oh, yeah.
How many of you think she wants to look a little taller? How many of you think she lets her hair grow that long so that she gets that much more height? Did you earn your height? No. Does it give you power? Well, I don't feel it does either. You're right. So he has the power of height, a physical characteristic over which he has absolutely no control. You see any other differences here?
Yes.
What?
The color of your skin.
Skin color. Is your skin color important to you?
No.
You ever have to think about it?
Yes.
Oh, then does this become important to you if you have to think about it?
Well, in the past, it did, as I was growing up.
Like yesterday?
Years ago.
How many of you think that he gets privileges because of the color of his skin? How many of you think he knows he does?
Yeah.
How many think he wouldn't trade places with her if he could avoid it? People, you have to learn this about people who have little melanin. They lie a lot. We have to in order to save our position on this earth. Is your skin color important to you? Has anybody ever said to you, when I see you, I don't see you black?
No.
They haven't.
No.
Oh, somebody give her that opportunity. Somebody say that to her so that she has the opportunity to respond to it in a way that will teach them never to say that again. Does your skin color give you power? You know it does. Does your skin color give you power?
I'm powerful. So
Don't give me that nonsense. Generally speaking, does your skin color give you power?
I'm sitting in front of you again. I'm just gonna put the camera up and get out your way.
they need the microphone because the microphone can't. Yes.
It does.
Yes.
You think this society sees you as powerful because of the color of your skin?
Absolutely. That's why they treat us the way they do.
How many of you think this society sees and tries to keep people of color powerless?
Yeah.
You know that, and I know that. If you don't know that, then you need to go to the nearest prison and see what population of the prison population, what percentage of it is black or brown. And then don't tell me that you feel powerful, so that makes it all right. Because that doesn't make it all right. And if you say you feel powerful in some places where I work in the South, you'll end up lynched. And if you haven't been to a lynching, I hope you never out of the subject of one. You need to realize that his skin color gives him power, his height gives him power. You see another difference here that gives you power? Gender. Is your gender, is sex important to you?
She's a
Let
lot
me put that
prettier.
another way. Is the fact that you're male important to you?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So does the fact that you're male give you power?
No.
How many think he's lying about that? How many think he knows he's lying about that? How many think that's a foolish lie for him to tell? How many think most of his male friends would say, what the hell's the matter with your head? And they should. People, does the fact that, what?
They couldn't hear me. It's hard for people to hear
You
in the
can't hear
back.
me. Who can't hear me? I've been shouting and you can't hear me? Is this mic on? Well, it's fun to hold anyway. I might have to hit him with it. Now, am I on? Am I on? Hello, can y'all hear me now? Now, can y'all hear me? Too bad for you. Now, he has power of height. He has power of gender. He has power of color. Is he a pretty powerful person? Yes. Whether or not she knows it. In the society at large, this society doesn't see her as powerful. Doesn't see her gender as making her powerful, or her color making her powerful, or her height making her powerful. She is a black female, a young black female. And if she disappears, we won't send anybody to look for her. Any more than we send them to look for Native women who disappear off the res. Because they aren't really all that valuable in this country. Because in this country, we have treated people of color as less than human for the last 400 years, and it's time to put a stop to it. Now, later on, you're going to go to a ball game, and they're going to sing the Star-Spangled Banner. And you're all going to stand up and put your hand over your heart. And you're going to sing the Star-Spangled Banner and condemn Colin Kaepernick for not standing with you. Colin Kaepernick doesn't stand for the Star-Spangled Banner because he knows that it came from a racist poem. If I read the second stanza, you wouldn't think it was so clever. And he also knows that the last line of that Star-Spangled Banner, which is called the National Anthem, says it all. Oh, say does that Star-Spangled Banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave. I will never forget the black woman who stood beside me, and I said to her, does your skin color give you power? She said, no. I said, and we went height the whole thing. She said, there are some other issues to deal with. I said, okay, so we got to color. She said, and this man said, I don't fear anything. I've got power. I'm not afraid of anything. So I turned to this brilliant, tall, black woman and said to her, sometimes does it take courage for you to get out of bed in the morning? He fears nothing. And she paused for a long moment, and then she said, I'm going to say something I've never said out loud before because I'm ashamed of it. I said, and that would be, she said, I have 2 children. They're both daughters. Both times, remembering this makes me sick to my stomach. She said, both times when I was pregnant, I prayed that I wouldn't have a son. I said, and that's because, she said, I didn't want to think about what he would have to go through. And I didn't want to think about what I would have to go through when I lost him. What have we done? What do we continue to do? How dare we continue this farce that's called the most civilized country on the face of the earth? We are an uncivilized country if you do that to 11 to 15% of your population. And we do. And we're proud of it. And I want it stopped. I looked up at that tall black woman and there was one tear slowly coursing its way down the left side of that woman's face. And I thought, oh my God, deliver me for what we have done in the past and help me to make it stop in the future. We have to stop it, people. We are all members of the same race. You are all my 30th to 50th cousins, whether you like it or not. Live with it. And thank you. Give these people a hand. This takes courage. The names of the 2 books, The Myth of Race, M-Y-T-H of Race, The Myth of Race. by Robert Wald, W-A-L-D, Sussman, S-U-S-S-M-A-N. And the other is Anthony Browder's, B-R-O-W-D-E-R, Anthony Browder's book, Nile Valley Contributions to Civilization. And he has several videos, and he's absolutely brilliant. He's an anthropologist. And I met a man last week who worked with him on a dig. And you have to read his books. They're absolutely brilliant. Any other comment? Yes, what's your question?
We talk a lot about how white people think about whiteness and racism. And I've been teaching African American studies for 4 years. My biggest challenge is having black children who are going to school to try to educate themselves about themselves, who have black parents who don't want them taking black studies. Yeah. What would you say to that?
You have to tell those parents that they've done studies that prove that the longer you stay in school, the more bigoted you become. Those parents need to know that those teachers, you can't teach what you don't know. And those teachers have been taught bigotry. They can only teach what they've been taught. Those black parents have to teach their children the truth. Because in the future, black people and brown people are going to be the ones who are running this show. We've got to get them ready to run this show by telling them how really terrific they are. Their parents have got to do that, because those parents need to know that right now we have a fool in the White House who says we need to get rid of Social Security.
Right, exactly.
Those parents who don't want those black children to know how valuable they are or how valuable their color group is need to realize that if they don't teach them properly, they're going to go along with things that are absolutely wrong. They're going to be bad for all of us in the future. Those black parents need to see the book, The Myth of Race. I don't know whether they like to read, but there's another book. There's a book called The Color of Man, and it's for elementary and junior high school people. But everybody should read it, because it shows you all of these different people, all these different supposedly races. They aren't. They're all just different colors, 2,500 different skin colors. Those parents need to teach those children the truth. They have been lied to. Those parents need a copy of the Peters projection map to hang in their house. And they need to send that to school with their child and say, this is what I want my child to learn in the future. I want you to stop teaching my child this lie. They have to do that, because their children's future depends on it. Schools will destroy black children if they can. Because that's what, I'm sorry, but I was a teacher for years, and I know what goes on in the schools. I know teachers do it with the best of intentions, people. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And we've got good intentions in the schools that are destroying children on a daily basis. We have got to convince every teacher that deals with children, I don't care whether in the Sunday school or in the public school, we have to teach children to deal fairly with children. I'm not equal to anybody in this room. I don't talk about equality, because I'm not equal to any. She's younger than I am, she's taller than I am, she's probably smarter than I am, but I know better than to chew gum when I'm talking. What do you suppose you should do with that gum? No, good listeners have quiet hands, feet, and mouths. You're listening to the teacher now. Good listeners have quiet hands, feet, and mouths. Somebody ought to tear off a piece of paper and give it to her for that gum. People, that's simply disrespectful. People, every person in this room, every black person in this room has forgotten more since breakfast about racism than I will ever learn. You know that, and I know that. You live with it. You don't get paid for living with it. I talk about it and get paid for talking about it. Most of the time. Sometimes I don't. Your children's parents have to see the book, The Color of Man. I can't remember the author's name, but if I'll give you my card, and you call me after I get back to my house in Sun City. Pass that back to her, please. And I'll tell you where that. Or you can probably find it on your silly thing there. Okay. What's your other question?
Actually, I'd like to make it very short. I think it's so imperative that we armor all children to understand racism. One of my dearest friends, who's an African American man, married to a European American woman, has a son. And his son's girlfriend was, like his mother, a European American woman. And 2 weeks ago, because he didn't know how to understand and deal with racism, he killed her. my friend is in the hospital with heart failure.
The one who killed 2 people?
Yeah. The father
The father?
is in the hospital
The son killed
because
his
his son killed himself and his daughter. I talked with his son. What I knew about this child, loved child, beautiful human being, but what I knew about him was that he didn't know how to navigate through racism, being treated as a young black man, the way we treat young black men. There's a healing that has to take place.
We expect them to be savages, and we treat them in savage ways.
Absolutely.
And then they behave the way they have been treated. People, I don't believe in the golden rule. The golden rule says, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. I know that you, tall black woman, don't want to be treated the way I want to be treated. And I know that no man in this room wants to be treated the way I want to be treated. And I know that no Muslim wants to be treated the way I want to be treated. The golden rule came out of Chinese philosophy, and it said, do unto others as others would have you do unto them. Treat others the way they want to be treated. And in order to find out how they want to be treated, you have to ask them, you have to listen to the answer, and then you have to do what they ask you to if it isn't indecent, immoral, or illegal. People, the platinum rule says you have to communicate with one another. White people do not have the right to treat others the way white people want to be treated. I want to show you something. Well, every white person in this room who wants to spend the rest of their life being treated the way we have treated people with color in this country for the last 400 years, if you're white and you want to be treated that way, please stand. Now, folks, take a look. You know, and I know, that we do not follow the golden rule in this country. We white people do not treat people of color the way we white people want to be treated. So get over it. The platinum rule says, do unto others as others would have you do unto them. Treat others the way they want to be treated. And if that person had communicated with his daughter, and with his daughter's husband, and with people different from himself, or people who had some common sense about race and skin color, 2 people would be alive today, and that man wouldn't be in the hospital with a heart attack. People, racism is killing this society. Racism has destroyed millions of people. Racism has destroyed millions of people. It's time to put a stop to it, and we could if we chose to. It's very warm in here, and I've entered a lot of hot air, so I think we should go now, except, wait, what's your question?
Can you give us 1 or 2 takeaways or challenges that we can implement immediately?
1 or 2 things that you could do. I've got 18 of them for you. I don't mess around. Go to my website, jane@janeelliott.com. Download, number 1, the typical statements that white folks make that think they aren't racist. Go through them, check those that you would agree with, and then go to the next page, which is clarifications of the statement that tell you why you ought not to be saying them. Then go to the next page, which is commitments to combat racism. There are 18 things that you can do in your own environment to deal with your own racism. And now you're going to say, well, racism is a societal problem. How many of you think that societies are made out of individuals? Yes, racism is an individual problem, people. Go through those 18 commitments to combat racism. Check yes, those that you have done. Check no, the ones that you haven't done. Then go back, circle one that you check no, put the date beside it, and decide to do it for a month.